Good morning to all of you. In the last lecture, in the study lecture, we have started the topic error control coding, which is the unit number 2, and we have seen some basics of the error control coding and why we have to be required to this coding. We have gone through the block diagram of the digital communication system, and we have learned each and every block of the communication system in detail. And at the end of the yesterday's lecture, we have discussing the topic of the parity check matrix or parity check bits. So we have learned that single bit parity, how to perform this particular single bit parity checking, and what is the even parity, what is the odd parity. Now, today, and we have also seen the limitations of the single bit parity check, that it would be only able to detect the one bit error, not the even number of errors. Now, today we have to start the topic with the modulo 2 arithmetic. This is very important arithmetic that we have to be learn because it will be useful for further mathematical analysis of this error control course. So in the modular arithmetic, we use limited range of integers. We define an upper limit called the modulus n, and we then use only the integers between 0 to n minus 1. And this is called modulo n arithmetic. Okay. Or particularly out of modulo n arithmetic, we generally use a modulo 2 arithmetic because in the case of digital communication, we are restricted our discussion on the binary numbers. So that would be having only the two labels 0 and 1. So we have to be main interest of the here in our discussion is modulo 2 arithmetic. So in this arithmetic modulus, we have to use only 0 and 1. And there is some examples that which type of the arithmetic we have to perform. We can perform addition, we can perform the subtraction, we can perform the multiplication. And in this particular table, if you have to be gone through this table, this is very important one, everyone note it down. How the modulo 2 arithmetic has been performed, how the modulo 2 addition has been performed, how the subtraction has been performed, how the multiplication has been performed, because this is all depend upon the binary number arithmetic. So in otherwise, if you have to be say the other name of modulo n arithmetic, or if you have to be see the property of this modulo n arithmetic, it is very much similar to the exclusive or XOR gate characteristics. The characteristics of the modulo n arithmetic is very much similar or exactly similar actually to the XOR gate characteristics. So here you can see in the table when you would be add the 0 with another 0, the result is 0. When you do 0 plus 1, it is a 1. When you have to be 1 plus 0, it is 1. When you add 1 plus 1, here result is 0. That we have also learned in the logic gates. In the case of exclusive or logic gates, what happens? When the dissimilar inputs are there, output is 1. When the similar inputs are there, output is 0. Here also we have to see when the 0 plus 0, that is a 0, 1 plus 1, it is 0. And rest of the case, it is 1. Now see the subtraction. In the case of modulo 2 arithmetic, 0 minus 0, 0 minus 1 is again 1. There is not a negative or positive sign is here. And 1 minus 0 is again 1. And 1 minus 1 is again 0. Again the same thing. When the dissimilar input, output is 1. Similar input, output is 0. Okay. But when you have to come for the multiplication, only one case when both are input are 1, then only the output is 1. And rest of the case output is 0. So this is all about the modulo 2 arithmetic. On the reference of this particular table, we would be solve further numerical. Okay. So everyone note it down. This is very important table. Now we have to be see the another topic that is called the weight and distance of binary vectors. We have seen yesterday the limitation of the single bit parity check. So to overcome this, we have to use this concept that is called the Hamming weight and Hamming distance for binary vectors. That is very useful term to detect the errors as well as correct the errors in the digital communication. So first of all, what is Hamming weight of any vector or Hamming weight is that is indicated as WV. Hamming weight means what? Number of non-zero bits present in your vector. Okay, number of non-zero bits present in your vector, that is called the Hamming weight. For example, suppose you have a 3-bit data like this. So here, what is the value of Hamming weight is number of non-zero element 101. What? How many? 2. Hamming weight is 2. Similarly, suppose this is the 3-bit data. So Hamming weight is here 1. So this is nothing but the number of non-zero bits in the vector. Now come to the next point, that is Hamming distance. So what is the Hamming distance? If you have to be see, Hamming distance is the number of digits positions in which a pair of words would be different. Hamming distance is a number of digits positions in which a pair of code words differ. So the example is there. This is indicated by the D, weight is indicated by the W, small w, and this is a small d. Suppose there is a two code words, so we have to find out the Hamming distance. So DUV is equal to number of bits in which they differ. So here the example, if you have to be see, the U has been be represented as 10010110001. Okay. Now in the same amount of, if you have to be see, this is 11 bits in the U. So similarly, we have to take the another code word that is also having the 11 bits. Now we have to be see by the bit by bit position in how many bits they are differ, and that is the value of Hamming distance. So we start from the LSB, both are having the same. Here again same. In the third position there is a differing. So there is the first Hamming, this is the Hamming weight number is 1. Then again the same. Then again same. Again it is differing. 2. Then again different. 3. Again different. 4. Same. Again different. 5. And last MSB same. Means there is a 5-digit positions where your a pair of code word is differing, and that means the value of Hamming weight is Hamming distance is what? 5. So in this way you have to be calculate the Hamming distance. This is a very simple mathematics. Now one of the properties mentioned for the Hamming distance is what? The Hamming distance of two code words is equivalent to or equal to the Hamming weight of the summation of that particular code words. Means the Hamming distance between two vectors is equal to the Hamming weight of their vector sum. This is a very important property for the case of Hamming weight and Hamming distance. Hamming distance between two vectors is equal to Hamming weight of their vector sum. Now, if we have to be see in how we have to be use this Hamming weight and Hamming distance concept. There is a one term is called the minimum Hamming distance. So the minimum Hamming distance is the smallest Hamming distance between all possible pairs in a set of words. We use the minimum to define the minimum Hamming distance in any coding scheme. Suppose you are having two code words U and V, and their summation, the weight of that summation W is equal to the U plus V. there is a third code word now. In this way, we have the three code words. U and V are the two independent code words, and the summation would be result in the another third code word, that is W. That is also one of the property. Sum of the two vectors would be result in the other code word. So therefore, the distance between the first two code words is equal to the weight of the third code word. If you would be correlate these two properties, then you have to come to the conclusion that distance of the two code word is equivalent to the weight of the third code word, because the third code word is nothing but the summation of the first two code words. Okay, that is shown here. DUV is equal to weight of U plus V or weight of W. Okay. So here the first W is representing the weight and second is the third code word. Thus, minimum distance of a linear code equals to the minimum weight of its code word. That is all about the minimum Hamming distance. If you have to see a code word with minimum distance D minimum can be shown to the correct that is D minimum minus 1 upon 2 erroneous bit and able to detect D minimum minus 1 erroneous bit. So what is this mean of this particular sentence? It means any code word having the minimum Hamming distance, that is D minimum, this code would be able to correct D minimum minus 1 upon 2 errors included in this particular code word. And it would be also able to detect D minimum minus 1 error bits present in this particular code word. So this is the correcting and detecting capability of this code word. And it is a necessary condition that that code word having some minimum Hamming distance. So you can understood this statement with the help of this example. Here you have to be see there is a two code words U and V, and you have to be see one end there is I have shown the U, another end there is a V is there, and there is a minimum Hamming distance is 7. So what is the formula to find out the possibility that how many code error bits could be detected in this particular condition, or how many error bits could be corrected? So if you have to be see, if D minimum is an odd number, if D minimum is an odd number, maybe 1, 3, 7, whatever. So the formula for error correcting capability is what? T max is equal to D minimum minus 1 upon 2. And what is the formula for error detecting capability of this code word is D minimum, E max is equal to D minimum minus 1. So here D minimum is what? 7. Means there is a 7-bit error is there in this particular code word. Now, minimum Hamming distance is 7. So we have to be see how many errors could be detected by it. So detection capability 7 minus 1 means this, in this way, using the concept of minimum Hamming distance, you can detect up to 6-bit errors. And how many code errors could be correct? This is 7 minus 1 upon 2, that is 3 errors could be corrected. Out of 6 detected errors, 3-bit errors could be corrected. This is the capability of this code word. But if the D minimum is an even number, here it is an odd number as per this example, but if suppose D minimum is an even number, then how many bits error could be detected and how many errors could be corrected? The formula is little bit different. We have to see, if D minimum is an even number, at that time you can detect d minimum upon 2. Suppose your d minimum is 6. Suppose your d minimum is 6. So how many errors you can detect here? You can detect 6 upon 2, means 3-bit error. And how many errors you can correct? You can correct d minimum minus 2 upon 2, means 6 minus 2 upon 2 means 2-bit. 2-bit error you can correct. So this is the some correlation between the minimum Hamming distance and error correcting capability, error detection capability. And this is very important relationship for further analysis, where we have to be learned about the LBC, linear block code, and convolution code and other things. Okay, so note it down, these both the formulas, that is very much important. Okay, now we start with the topic block codes. What are the block codes? In a n comma k, this is the representation of block code. The channel encoder accepts the information in successive k symbol blocks and adds n minus k redundant symbols that are algebraically related to the k message symbols, thereby producing an overall encoded block of n symbols. And n is always greater than k. It is known as a code word. So this is the representation n comma k. So here the n is representing the bit length of the code word and k is representing the bit length of the message. Means we are taking a k bit message symbol, add the n minus k redundant symbols to this message, and when we would be add this, you would be get a n bit code word. So out of k bit message, you can generate a n bit code word. So always the length of code word is greater than the length of message bits. Now the property of the block code is what? If the block code is systematic, the information symbols stay unchanged during the encoding operation. And the encoding operation may be considered as adding n minus k generalized parity check to the k information symbols. If block code is a systematic, the information symbols stay unchanged during the encoding operation. And in this encoding operation, what actually we have to be do? We have to be add the n minus k parity check bits to the message symbols. Okay. Since the information symbols are statistically independent, the next code word is independent of the content of the current code word. We are discussing about the systematic code words, block codes. So in this case, if information symbols are statistically independent to each other, so whatever the next code word would be generated from this systematic sequence, it would be independent of the content of the previous code word or current code word. You can. So each code word having a different content. And there is one of the formula for calculating the code rate. If you have to be see, so the code rate is defined by the, for this n comma k block code is capital R, that is equal to k upon n. This is the formula for finding out the code rate. So k means number of message bits upon number of bits present in the code word. That is the rate of block code, code rate. This is called the code rate. This is also an important formula. Another term is overhead. How, what is the overhead is there? It would be calculated as 1 upon R minus 1 into 100. It is measured in terms of percentage. Okay. Now, when we have to be talk about the block codes, the information sequence is partitions into the message blocks of the k bit information, and it is represented as like this. So the message symbols of k bit information is represented as, suppose u is here, with you use the term u here. In different books they have used the different terms. So basically I have referred from the digital communication written by the Bernard Sklar. It is your textbook. So here they have used the term u. So here u is used as a k-bit information representation. And how we represent? It is a k-bit information. So obviously it is started from u0, u1 to up to uk minus 1. There's a different ways of representation. You can either start with the u1, u2 up to the uk. Both representation are correct. If somewhere you have to be see that u is written as u1, u2 up to the uk, that is also correct. Okay. But here I have taken as u is equal to u0, u1 up to uk minus 1, means total k number of bits. And using this k bit information, k information bits, we have to be, when we have to be passed to the encoder would be generate the output as a code word, and code word is represented here as a v. V is the code word here, and it is having the n bit. So the representation of code word is here v is equal to v0, v1 up to vn minus 1, means n bit code word. So out of k bit message we can produce n bit code word v. So all this equation please note it down. Otherwise you would be not got what I want to convey you at the last of the at the end of the lecture, because this all equation would be used systematically one after another. Okay. Now here we have to see that using the u, that is having the k information bits, and when it would be passed to the encoder, it would be generate the code word v, that is having the n bits, and representation is like this. And this encoder, whatever the encoder we are using here, that is very important property, that is it is memoryless system. It does not remember. So means every time you would be use a different information bits, you would be get a different code word. Okay. Then rate is represented by k by n, that is r. N minus k is what? Now by using k bits we are producing the n bit code word. So obviously n minus k is what? It is number of redundant bits. And we learned that what is the use of the redundant bits? It is used for error detection and error correction, and that is also known as a parity bit. We have also learned the parity concept, even parity, odd parity. Okay. So this, in this way, n minus k number of redundant bits or parity bits are added to each k bit message to protect it against the errors. Because when you have to pass this information to the channel, so there is some error would be added. So to protect your original message from this kind of errors, we have to be required to add this n minus k redundant bits along with your original message. And one of the another concept is that we are using a k bit information, k bit message. So how many combination of message could be possible with the help of the k bit message? So the number of possibilities to the power k code words could be generated with the help of k bit message. Means if you having the 3-bit message, you can generate to the power 3, means 8 code words having the n bit. Okay. So with the help of k bit message you can generate the, with the help of 3-bit message you can generate the 8 code words having n bits, each code word having the length of n bits. So it is called as a binary n comma k block code. This is the way of representation, n comma k, always for the linear block code or block codes. Okay, so this is all about the introductory section of the block codes if you have to be seen. So in this case, if you have to see the code sequence of code words is either it could be binary or either it could not be binary. But in this chapter, we have to be discuss the binary codes because it is mostly used in the practice. Now come to the next section, that is linear block codes. This is the extension of the block codes, linear block codes. So we have to be restrict our learning up to this linear block codes. Okay. So again, the linear block codes are also represented in a similar fashion as the block codes, that is n comma k. Linear block codes defined by the k into n generator matrix. Here we have to use a new term that is called a generator matrix. So k is to n generator matrix means k number of rows, n number of columns. K is representation of the number of bits in the messages, n is the representation of the number of bits present in the code word. So how can we represent the generator matrix? That is represented by capital G. Okay, and it is made up from the k bit messages. So this is the complete matrix view of this generator matrix. So this is the complete matrix view of this generator matrix. If you have to be see. So here you can see in this particular representation what is going on. We are using a k-bit message. So I have told you that the property of this matrix is k is to n, means k is represented number of rows. So how many rows are there? K bit. So that's why if you have to see G0, G1 up to k minus 1. And how many columns are there? That is number of bits present in the code word. So it is what? From 0 to start from the 0, 1, 2 up to the n minus 1. So the property of this particular matrix is what? K is to n. Okay. Now all of you have to note it down the generator matrix, how to represent the representation of this particular generator matrix. So in this way, the set of to the power k binary code words is formed by taking the linear combinations of rows of generator matrix G. Okay. So now please note it down, then I would move forward. Okay. So for the binary information sequence U, that is between U0 to UK minus 1, the corresponding binary code words sequence is given by what? V. And the V is multiplication of message and generator matrix. So U into G, that is a formula for the generating the V. So what is, if you have to be see here, you have to just multiply this. So U0, G0 plus U1, G1 up to the UK minus 1, because message bit is K bit, and up to the K minus 1 G, GK minus 1. So here, whatever the addition sign you have seen, it is not a normal addition. It is a modulo 2 addition. It is a modulo 2 addition. Remember this. So the sum of any two code words in a linear code is also a code word. This is the property of LB, linear code word, linear block code. Sum of any two code words is in a linear code is also a code word. That is, if we add V1 and V2, V1 and V2 independently are code word, but when you have to add this, it would also generate the third code word. That is also a valid code word. The second property of LBC is what? The all zero vectors means 0, here you have to show the representation, is also a code word in every linear code. So in this way, an n comma k linear block code is a k dimensional subspace. It is a k dimensional subspace of the vector space Vn for all binary n tuples. Okay. So this example we have to be take for our demonstration of this LBC. So with the help of this example, we will try to learn how the V would be generated from the U with the help of the generator matrix. So here we have taken a 6, 3 linear block code. Means K is your 3 and N is your 6. And this is the table. That is the message bit. 3-bit message is there. So obviously you can having the possibility of the to the power 3 8 combination of the code words. And this is the 8 combination of code words are here represented starting from V0 to V5. Now with the help of this table, please take the screenshot or either you have to be noted down this table. How we have to be generate the equation for each and every code word, adding here the how many code words are possible, how many bits of this code word. This code word having the bits 6 bits from V0 to V5. So we have to be define a equation of each and every bit of a code word starting from V0 to V5. So if you have to be see what is the value of V0 or what is the equation of V0. V0 is here U1 plus U2, V1 is U0 plus U2, V3 is U0 plus U1. Now in your mind it is question is arises how it is came. So it is very simple. You can correlate it. Either from this equation to this table you can correlate, or from that table to this equation you can correlate. See, V0 is V1 plus U1 plus U2 here. So if you have to be see the this column, this MSB column, this is representation of V0. Okay. So when you have to be add U1 plus U2, that is the representation of this as per the U1 plus U2. So you see here, when you have to be add U1 plus U2, 0 plus 0, 0, 0 plus 0, 0, 1 plus 0, 1. As per the modulo 2 addition I am saying, then 1 plus 0, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 0 plus 1, 1, 1 plus 1, 0, 1 plus 1, 0. So if you have to be see the combination, so V1 is, V0 is nothing but it is a U1 plus U2. In the similar fashion, if you have to be see what is the V1, okay. So that has been be defined here. So for this, it is required that you have to be take the screenshot of this table and correlate with the equation I have written. So first three V0, V1 and V2, these three code words are a combination of two message bits. But last three, V3, V4 and V5, it is a replica of message bits. Like one of the example we can take here, V3 is equivalent to the U0. So how can we relate this? See here. What is V3? This is the position. If you have to be seen in the table, this is the U3 is there. All these terms are U3. Right side of this red line. Okay. This is your V3. Now you have to be see. It is similar to the U0. You can easily correlate this. In the first case, U0 is 0, V3 is 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, and 1. Similar fashion, V4 is replica of U1. V5 is a replica of U2. So it is very easy to write the equation for that. By observing the bit positions in the table, you can easily correlate them and write an equation for the corresponding bits of the code word. So in this way, we have defined V0 to V5 by using this equation. Now further, as per the formula, the code word is equal to the multiplication of the message into generator matrix that I have written here. So all the bits of the code word V0 to V5 is equal to the message U, that is U0 to U2, and the combination of generator matrix. Okay, so what is the order of this? K is to N, means 3 is to 6. So 3 rows and 6 columns. And in the 3 rows, you have to be see the first is K. So 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. This is the K's are there. And the second one is the N's. So 0 to 5, 0 to 5, 0 to 5. So in this way, we have written the generator matrix. Now from this formula, we have to find out the generator matrix value. The position of this one. G00 means what? 0, 1, 0 means what? That we have defined here. So if you have to be see how we have defined. So when you have to multiply this, you have to just multiply. So how you have to do the multiplication? You have to multiply U0, U1 and U2 with this first row in this direction. Then second row like this. So you have to be got this row. First row for this. How you have to be come to this conclusion? U0 multiply with the G00 plus U1 multiply with the G10. Okay. Then U2 we would be multiply G2 0. So if you have to be see in this way, so what you would be got when you have to be multiply this? You would be got the 0 here, then 1, and okay, there is a very less